morning. And I wanted to get back and start working on some of these tiles. We've been working on them for quite a while, and there's a lot to do. So today we're going to be using all of the antiquing gels, all 4 colors, as well as the metallics, to show you what each of them will look like on Corinthian. Jared's here helping me as Melissa is out vacationing until tomorrow. So I'm going to be putting on all of the antiquing, dialing it back, and showing you what it's going to look like over this piece of styrofoam. These are some ceiling tiles, and they've done such a great job at doing a demo to show you how great these look. Say hi if you're just coming on to this live, and if you are enjoying using the all-in-one paint products by Heirloom Traditions, say that. We'd love to hear from you here. And if you're new to our products and you don't really know what in the world we're doing, we would love to send you a sample jar. So say something there, and we'll be sure to send you the link on how to get yourself a free sample of all-in-one paint. Never tried these products, I think you're going to be amazed at how fun painting can be. And these products that we're showing you here today are something you can add on top of the paint if you choose. It's not necessary, but you can add on things like our antiquing gels to give them great detail and dimension and give them an artistic flair and pick up kind of any feeling that you want the paint to have. I'm using our color Whitewash over the dark color of Corinthian, and that's going to give us a really pretty softening of that color and totally change the personality of what Corinthian normally looks like. Corinthian's a great chameleon color, meaning it looks so good in so many different applications. It can take on the feeling of an oil rub bronze by itself. You can use it to paint your hardware. You can use it to paint light fixtures, maybe brass lamps and so on that are dark and you want, or in brass and colors that you may be tired of in your home, and give them a great new look. And you can use them to do something like we're doing here. This is a dry cloth that I'm pulling this back with, and I'm just softly taking off the whitewash to reveal the beautiful details underneath. And as you can see, this looks nothing like it did just a moment ago. We're shooting all this with our overhead camera, so we can put all of these. When you go on to allinOnePaint.com, you'll be able to see each color and then what each of the antiquing gels look like on that color. So no more guessing. That takes us a bit, and got to get all of them done and painted up to do for you. Give you a good representation of those. Oh wow, this is so beautiful. If you've ever wondered what that looks like, that gives you a beautiful tin ceiling look. And that's what these are. These are very thin pieces of foam, and they're made for ceiling tiles. But doesn't that look great and give you that antique feeling? And again, if you need information on how to get yourself a sample, even of Corinthian, you can do that. Just comment right here in the timeline, and we're going to send you a link to get yourself a free sample. This size, an 8-ounce size, it's going to paint 35 to 40 square feet and let you see what it's like using our products. I think you're going to love them, and can't wait to hear from you right here today. We'll be trying our best to get back and answer everyone in the timeline as best we can. Sometimes there's more comments than we can get to, but we'll do our best to get in there and get them answered. So I'm going to change brushes because I want to be sure and show you a true representation of what the color looks like. And this is going to be weathered wood over Corinthian. Now there's not going to be a lot of contrast here simply because they're very close in color. Weathered wood is a way to make something look like aged wood, and so this being very close to the color Corinthian, it's going to be a subtle change, but it's going to be a beautiful change. I think you're going to like this one. And again, trying to show you all of these will give you a lot of great ideas and inspiration on how to make your painted pieces take on the personality of the room. If you like farmhouse style, weathered wood is a great option for you. If you like a beachy style whitewash that I just used on the piece before, is a great option for you. And if you like something a little more deeper in tones, maybe you have a darker interior or more maybe even a romantic look, you can do, or not, I'm going to say that as a romantic look to some, as a dark and dark vibe kind of going on. You could use oil rub black over the top of this. I'm going to give you a great look there too. Can't wait to show you that one. I think that will be my favorite one. And these are so easy to use. There's no smell. That's a great thing about using all-in-one paint. There's no smell using the antiquing gel, and it doesn't require any kind of a top coat. You just put it on and you're done. The paint does not require this product. It's just a way to decorate it. If you're familiar with the old way of waxing, this is a simple way to do that, but it's also a sturdy way to do that. Wax is not a sealer and wax will come off. If you're using it for cabinets and furniture and so on, wax will have to be recoated if you were using wax to try to seal a chalk type paint. Our product is called all-in-one paint because it has it all built in already into the paint. So that's the beautiful thing. And these things give you that wax look without all of that hassle and all of that work, and it's permanent. So that's the great thing. So look at that. So just a pretty way to give you a soft and aging look to adding weathered wood over Corinthian. Isn't that pretty?
Let me get a switch over here.
Can you switch to that one? Very subtle.
I was reading chat. Ann's wondering, how long do you have to wait to antique after painting?
Okay, let me just share both of this. This is whitewash, and then this is the one using weathered wood. So even though there's subtle differences, they're very, very light, but you can definitely still see what weathered wood looks like. Let me turn it so you can see it. So if you just want a subtle antiquing, that's a way to get it, using a very similar color to what you're doing. So whatever that paint color is, if you'll use one close to it, but not exactly it, then you'll get a subtle antiquing. So I love that about it. Now I'm going to use vintage brown over the Corinthian, and I'll come back to that. So whenever you're using antiquing, let me talk about it in two different ways, because there's something important to note. Antiquing, the gels are water-based, just like the paint. So you need to allow your paint to dry well, and the reason being is if you painted several coats on something, and then you were to put antiquing back on there, that top layer has begun to start to cure, but underneath you've sealed off those other layers, so it might begin to remove paint. So you need to always make sure that your painted piece is starting to cure, meaning that it's lost its cool touch. Sometimes that may take a day, sometimes it may take just a few hours. Depends on your humidity level really in your home, where you're painting and what you're painting. If you're painting a laminate or you're painting something that's a plastic or something that's sealed underneath, that moisture has to all come out through the top of the paint, so that's going to take a little longer. If you're painting something wood that was really dry and porous, it's going to really absorb that, so you'll be able to antique quicker. So just kind of think of it in realistic terms and how something is going to shed the water that's in the paint. That's going to help it to be able to be antiqued much quicker. So test a spot. The best thing I can tell you to do is just make a little test, try it out. I love to use the antiquing to help me get a distressed look, because it will give you that. It will start helping you remove some paint, which is a good thing, but it may not be in all cases. So if you want it to help you distress, do it early, because it's going to help you with a dry cloth to start removing some paint and give you that kind of chippy look. But if you want to make sure you don't pull off any paint, be sure that your paint is dry enough. And I'm going to say a good 24 hours is a good rule of thumb. And it could be less. Again, just make you a little test and you'll know then. Every piece is going to be different. So just like painting, no rules really. There's rules, but then there are rules that are not necessarily always rules. So every piece is different. Every time you pick up a piece to paint it, you're going to get a little different result based on what you're using, what was painted on it before, what the stain was before, that kind of thing. And the room and the conditions, the time of year, and all of that can be a factor. So now I'm using vintage brown over Corinthian. Again, a subtle change here. Not going to be really drastic, but it's really pretty. It's aging and browning down this color. So if you like the idea of browning down a color, which I do, tea staining it's what I generally call that, you're going to get that using vintage brown, even over a dark color like Corinthian. Now, not so easy to see probably here with your natural eye, but can you see that on camera? Does it even pick that up? Can you see it, Jared?
It does.
Pick it there.
It picks it up just a little bit.
You can see it there, but it's actually very pretty. I wish you could see it in person, because it's a toning, but it's not. It changes the temperature of the color more than it does anything. It really turned it from a little cooler of a color now to a little bit of a warmer side of a brownish gray. All right, so we're going to use Oil Rub Black as our next color going over Corinthian. And that'll get us through all four of the standard antiquing gels. Then we'll move on to the metallics.
I'm excited for this one. I think this one will look good.
This will be really pretty. You're taking Melissa's part here, because she's always telling me that this one's going to be her favorite.
Oh, really?
Always. That's always her favorite. Now, this will be subtle too, but again, we're using a black. And our Oil Rub Black, just to give you an idea of this color, Oil Rub Black is not a black like coal or tar. It's really a soft, warmer black. And that's a beautiful thing, and it gives you a much prettier finish than something that's a hard black. So when you come into the room and see it on something, it doesn't read like a solid black. It'll have a little warmth to it, which I think really adds a lot of character to that color. So this is going to be tough to see also, but it's going to do about the same thing vintage brown did. It's going to add a darkening or richening to this color rather than tone or change the color. It is going to just tone it, just adding a subtle tone to it. Notice I always put my lids back on quick. I always do that. Think of that as you're working with paints of any kind. Air is the enemy to them. Put that lid on, even between coats if you can. Just lay it on there. Always helps your products to keep them out of the air. Keeps them from getting gunked up around the lid and that kind of thing too, where you get particles then in your paint from dried paint falling in. Now this is making Corinthian look like oil-rubbed bronze hardware. So that I want to be sure and point out to you, showing you this one. If you were making or painting maybe a piece of furniture and you wanted to change the hardware and make it look like oil-rubbed bronze, maybe it has a brass or a stainless, a light fixture, a lamp. You want to make it look like a oil-rubbed bronze, start with Corinthian and then use oil-rubbed black as an antiquing over it, just so it doesn't look painted. It will look original, and that's the look you're going to get. And it very much emulates oil-rubbed bronze that you see, a factory oil-rubbed bronze. And again, probably very hard to see on camera. Can you see it at all, Jared?
Yeah, you can definitely see it.
It blacked it down, did it not?
Yeah.
Well, let me show you here, vintage brown beside it, and I think you'll see. This looks like bronze. Once that happened, that really looks like the color bronze in a metallic.
Yeah, you can tell a big difference.
Tell a big difference side to side, absolutely. And I'll go back and try to show you all of those, and I'll hold them up as we go along here. So that got all four of the standard antiquings, and now we're going to go into the fun part and do the metallics. And there's 5 metallics, and I think you're going to love these, and especially over dark colors is where they really shine. Everybody's leaving here today, so if you're hearing all these cars, sorry about that.
We've had quite a few people say that they're glad to have you back.
Oh, well, great, thank you. And I'm glad to be back. I had a great trip out with my sister and my nephew who lives in Colorado and his soon-to-be fiancée. I'm hoping and praying to goodness she's not watching this. I should have said that. My God, don't ever tell me a secret, please. Don't ever tell me something I should know. Not good. Just not good. I may be abolished from my entire family after that comment. So anyway, just pretend you didn't hear that, everybody. Oh, that's too funny. But anyway, we had a great time out in Las Vegas. It was the furniture market. Of course, y'all know that. If you don't know that, I'll bore you with the details. My parents were in the furniture business for about 50 years. And I always joke and say I rode my tricycle in their store. So it's part of my DNA, I believe, the furniture trade. And my sister and I were in the furniture business for a lot of years. She still is in the furniture business. And we're adding in a lot of great things into our store. So I went out looking for things to put in our new store and things we'll be bringing you. And I found so many great brands and so many people that I wanted to work with out there. And one being, I thought was very interesting, was a chocolate company from Spokane, Washington, which, you know, Craig's from Spokane, and it was called Spokandy. I hope you guys hear me on here. But I'm going to be putting in the Spokane candy simply because where he's from, and they did great candy. So we'll have all kinds of fun things like that, as well as rugs and art and all kinds of things that are in the Kentucky vein and that vibe. When you come here, you'll know you visited a store right in the heart of Kentucky. So we're all about that. And of course, we'll have all the paint available there. We'll be doing live demos in that store. Hopefully on every weekend. We're also going to have a little farmer's market and an art market attached to it that you can come out and you can put in your pieces in our big field that we have here. We'll have all that nice and paved so you can go out and set up your tent along the grassy areas and so on. That's going to make a very fun place for this area and people who are coming in to see us. Can't wait for that to happen. So they're about to break ground on this thing. And from there, who knows? You know, it's just been a miserable time to try and build. I know you guys are experiencing that where you are. Everything's in short supply. Not to mention labor. Anyway, there you go, is champagne. Isn't that pretty? Now that is beautiful. I wish you so much you could see these in person. But there you go. That's probably going to be my favorite. What do you think, Jerry?
I love that one.
That one is pretty, isn't it?
I like the differences in tones.
Yeah, I do too. I think that is really a softening to the color. Doesn't even look like that color once you put that on it. It totally took it to a different place. So now, I'm going to put on the copper.
I think my favorite thing about this is seeing you put the new, like, just only painted square down. Because then it lets you tell how big of a difference the last one was.
Well, I thought I had there they are. I thought I had enough brushes here. All right, guys. So this is the copper antiquing. And I'll try and get this one on for you. This one's going to be really pretty. It's going to make this look like a copper ceiling tile. This thing was meant to really look like, I guess, a punched kind of copper or tin ceiling tiles. It'd be really pretty to do.
Jeanette, all of the squares are in our color Corinthian, so they're all the same base color.
We're trying to do them all the same right now. We've done all of the whites already, kind of knocked those out, and we're kind of going through the colors now. There's several of them awaiting my antiquing. So I get the blame for that. I haven't gotten them done like I should have, but they've all been painted out here and ready for us. They're not all aware we're doing a live. We didn't alert the media here. That's all right. You're all heading home excited, I'm sure. All right, let's take this one off and see what kind of realistic view we have of this. So Corinthian with the copper antiquing over the top. Now I'm just using light pressure, and this, because it's styrofoam, may sound like I'm really pressing hard here. It's really, I'm trying not to, because these would damage pretty easily. So you can just push as much as you want, and being that this is a dry rag, you could also dampen the rag and take off more. Just leave everything down in the nice hollows of this. So when you're antiquing something, I always suggest starting with a dry rag. And then if you need to move on to something damp, you can do that too. You can even spray right on your piece. I try not to do that because you don't want to make watermarks in your antiquing. You just want to spray or wet your rag a little bit and see what comes off. And if it doesn't move like you want it to, then you can resort to wetting it a little more. But work in small areas, that's the main thing. About the size of what I'm doing here on this piece, that's a good size. That's about 4 foot square right there. 2 foot by 2 foot, so 4 square feet, I should say. There you go. There is the copper. Isn't that gorgeous? So let me show you in reference to another. So here's champagne, which is between a silver and a gold. Get those side by side. So this is champagne, this hand. And then this is what we just did with the copper. Isn't that gorgeous? So Corinthian is the base coat for both of these. So that's how much antiquing can change something in just that little bit of effort. And then you are done. You would do nothing else to this. You are simply done.
Such a big difference.
Such a huge difference. And I'm going to jump over here and do another one. Kind of jump around metallic-wise here. So this one is gunmetal. So this one's going to give us, again, something that's going to look like probably gunmetal. It's going to look like a silver kind of feeling to the bottom. And it's going to keep that cool look about it. But it's not going to really change the color so much because it's pretty close. And that color, again, is just going to add that metallic luster to the piece. And notice I'm not putting on a huge amount of this. There's no need to waste your product. So just gingerly put it on there and just work it quickly and work in a small area. Again, you don't want to put this on and allow it to dry. It's not going to move around easy. You want to put it on here in the small area, work it quick, and remove it quickly. This one will be really pretty too. This will be a great way to get a tin ceiling look. And these products are called gel because they're fairly thick. And not to confuse you, the antiquing that we are coming out with right now in the stain, or I shouldn't say the antiquing, the gel that we're coming out with. We just came out with our graphite gray color. That is just like our walnut gel stain, except in graphite. So those are two different products and two different things that they do. Of course, you can antique with them just the same. We don't want to confuse you any further about that. A lot of people get confused about that because we use the word gel in both of them. But gel is a great thing because that makes the product not drip and run. And I love that about it. So as I don't get it all over me simply for that reason. And our paint's the same. It just kind of hangs on. It doesn't splatter is the best way to say it. This has got a lot of metallic in it, so it's really going to give you that silvered look. And this is gunmetal. Let me show you some of the sides so you can get a better visual. So this is the copper, and this is the gunmetal. So there's the silver and kind of the copper. And now let me put the champagne underneath that so you can get all three of those in one view. So this one on the far end here is the champagne. So there's some warmth to that. Can you tell? Versus the one on the far right, this one, which there's a little coolness in that. And of course, copper has some nice warmth to it also. So there's those. Now we've got pearl left to go, which is going to be really pretty. And then we have the bright gold left to go here. So two more. And tomorrow when Mel's back, we are going to be playing paintbrush. I figured you guys were playing already today. Are they playing?
They are playing. There are quite a few paints in the chat.
I knew you guys, it was pointless to say we're not playing, but I didn't want to put that stress on Jared today. Because I've already stressed him with getting this done today. I don't want to stress him no more.
Ooh, Kylie said that she just got done doing the faux granite technique.
Oh, great.
From our Nashville makeover.
How'd that go?
She said that it turned out great. She absolutely loves it.
Awesome. A little update on our Paint Ease. If you saw me using that just a moment ago, that's one of the only two prototypes that I have. But those are supposed to be in the next few weeks, as well as our faux pas, and that'll help you do a marble finish on a countertop just by simply putting paint on the roller and just stamping it virtually on your hand right onto your surface. So if you don't feel like you have the artistic talent or you don't think you could make it random or pretty, this little tool, this little rubber mitt is going to give you what you need to get those done easily. And just kind of mindlessly too. You can't mess it up. When you have that little simple stamper, you just stamp it. And if it don't look good, stamp over it. Just keep stamping until you like the looks of it. And that's what we're going to share with you, how to do those in multiple colors. And once we get our little tool in, we'll be happy to put together a lot of different colorways and ideas to help you. Alright, so here goes gold. Now this one is going to be pretty intense because it's over this dark color. But it's sure pretty.
Renee said, welcome Jared. Make sure to break him in gently.
Uh-oh, someone you know?
I do not know who this person is, but hello Renee, thank you. I'm glad to be here.
He's been with us over a year so far. He hasn't left yet, so that's a good thing. That's a good sign.
They treat me good and keep my belly full. I can't complain.
All women, mainly, that he's working with in here in the office side, so he's our only guy. And he travels well. For a man, he travels so well. Got to brag him up on that just a bit. He goes to the Walmart shopping and he don't complain, and he rides in the car and he don't complain, and wow. I was amazed when he went on little trips with us, and he'll be going on several more. All right, so here is the gold, and here's gunmetal. So you can see the huge difference there between those. So here's the gold, here's the gunmetal. Give you that vision. I'll show them all to you in just one more minute. So I'm going to do the pearl last but not least, and give you that one. And that gets us through them all. Whoever painted these did a really good job, by the way.
I believe it was Allison.
She did a great job. And she says she had never painted before, didn't she? So see, Allison, you can paint if you heard this. Alright, so I have to use this old chip brush here. So the white is the pearl that I'm putting on. So this one is going to be gorgeous on this. Just had to use the chip brush. Didn't have cut down here to no brush. So tomorrow, Mel and I are going to be doing something fun, and we're going to be starting the last 10 days of the month. We have some fun things coming up, and we're going to have 10 days of kind of a spring cleanup giveaway / some new products and some bundles, and those things will be happening in the last 10 days. What's the date today? 15th or 14th?
Today is the 15th.
It is. All right, good. Hey, I'm good that I even knew that close. I'm surprised. Somebody had to tip me off because I wouldn't have normally known. I guess traveling, you do kind of have to know a little bit what date it is. But after that, I try and forget what date it is.
The only reason I know what today is because it's tax day.
Oh, yes. That's so true. That's so true. We already done that earlier in the week. So, there you go. There you go.
Let that be a last second reminder to anybody out there.
Thank you for dropping a bomb on everybody there. Tax day, Jared. Oh, funny. Now, isn't this one going to be pretty?
Oh, I love this one.
I do too. And it looks like the whitewash until you turn it and you can see then it's more than just the whitewash, it's the pearl.
Well, we've got a few people asking where they can get these panels from.
These came from Amazon, and I'll share the link with you. I can find that really easily on my little store there. I'll throw it up there for you. They're very inexpensive and a great way to hide a bad ceiling. I guess you could just use construction cement and put them up, get good and square, and start off and put them up there. They're fabulous deals, and they work perfect for this. They had all kinds of patterns too. They made excellent ways to demo. Isn't that pretty? Let me see if I can turn it where you see the pearl.
Oh yeah, let me flip it real quick.
Can you see it at all? The shimmer? Hard to get a glimpse of that. Right on the corner I can. Maybe. Alright, so let me compare some of these for you. So here's pearl. And anybody has any they would like for me to share with you, say something. So this is the gold, bright gold. This is gunmetal. So I'll give you those three together. So all of these are the metallics.
I believe I'd like to see gold next to the copper.
Okay, that's a good idea. Thank you. Gold next to copper. Let's see if we can really tell the difference. I know you can, because I can from here. So let's see the difference. Copper and gold, obviously.
Oh yeah, those look so good.
Copper has a totally different warmth to it. So here's the gold. No, sorry, here's the gold. Here's the copper. Alright, and here's champagne. I'll show you that with copper. So you can see one, the cool one versus this one is the copper. This is champagne. And it looks like it's looking very silver there, but really there's a warmth to this.
I think it's reflecting off that light a little too much.
Probably. I call this Gilbert, guys. I call this silver gold, and that's exactly what it makes me think of, between a silver and a gold. So here are the standard 4 colors with no metallic in them at all. So this is oil rub black in this hand, and this is vintage brown. So you can see the difference.
Sound cut out for a second to stop recording. We're good. Sound should be back, everybody. Sorry about that.
What happened? Time out or something?
The camera after 30 minutes will shut down on its own if it hasn't moved any. So that's
gotcha.
where it's on that tripod.
Good deal. So here is the pearl, and here is just the whitewash, but you can't see much of that, can you? I think so. I think
Yeah,
I
you can tell a
catch it
little
right
bit of
here.
a difference.
This one is normal white. Wait a minute. And now I gotta go look. Here's the standard whitewash. Here's the pearl. This one is pearl. Hard to tell. Whitewash takes more to it all over,
yeah.
I do believe. So you see more of the whitewash, but there's no pearl. This has the pearl essence. This one, of course, does not. You just see the toning of the white over this. And any others that I can compare?
We're not. I don't see any that people are wanting to see in chat.
All right, guys. I'm going to get all these photographed, and Jared's going to make a nice video of them and get them up so you can see them on the Corinthian page. When you go to the allinonepaint.com site, each of those colors, when you tap them, you'll see different videos in there, and this will be a video that will be right there on the page, so you can look at all the antiquing gel right in that video, so you can discern which one you need on your project. So that's the goal, and we'll roll through all the colors. The whites are there now. A couple of others have been added, but for the most part, we are slowly rolling through these things. I'm going to make a commitment to get them done much quicker than we have been rolling with them, because I know how much they're needed. You can get an idea still looking at this that Abby would be similar and so on. You can kind of get a feeling, because Abby's a similar color to Corinthian, just a lighter version, so it would show up a little bit more on Abby than maybe some of the darker colors would show up a little bit more than they do here particularly. All right, guys, I sure hope you have a great rest of your evening, and look forward to Melissa being back tomorrow, and she and I'll be doing something with you. We'll talk more about those 10 last days of the month and all the fun things that we're going to be doing there, and can't wait till you are back with us again. We'll see you all very soon. Thank you. Good night.
Bye.